Hello there, in today's video we're going to continue the conversation between the Quincy woman and Liltato Lampard, and why did the trusted aide of Jugram Hashwalt saved Lil and the Quincies. So without further delay, let's start the video. Lil quietly waited for her adversary's reply. I went to rescue them, but I didn't make it in time. It seems they were captured by the 12th Division when they lost the power of their Volstandig in His Majesty's Oswallan. Najakup Sama too, although it is unknown whether they are alive or dead, they appear to have been transported there. I don't give a damn about that peeping Tom bastard. The 12th Division, huh? I see. In that case, perhaps it's better if they had died at once. What kind of department is the 12th Division? What kind of man is Kuratsuchi Mayuri, the captain of that division? Through advance intelligence, she was able to understand. Be that as it may, there is a possibility that they're still alive, isn't there? Lil cast a quick glance at Gigi, who was lying down beside her. If they have the power of Gigi's Shrift Z, the zombie, the others can be recuperated, even if they have a certain degree of physical impairment due to experiments or autopsies carried out by the 12th Division. And even if they are dead, as long as the body and brains remain, it is possible to revive them as zombies like Bambietta in the worst-case scenario. Although, as far as emotional scars are concerned, that cannot be healed. Taking everything so far into consideration, Lil then posed a question to the Quincy woman before her eyes, in a dispassionate manner. Returning to the subject at hand. Why did you help us? It is Hashwalt Sama's will. When His Majesty entered his final sleep, Hashwalt Sama ordered the Soldat under his direct supervision to retrieve and provide medical treatment to you ladies and other wounded Soldat. It doesn't make any sense at all to me. What happened to the Schutzstaffel bunch? Despite knitting her eyebrows in bewilderment, Lil thought she should straighten out further details by continuing to inquire. Returning a shake of her head and with a sorrowful expression, all members were killed in action. I received reports from the observation unit that His Majesty completely absorbed Gerard Sama's power and he dissipated. So even Naklavar was done away with, huh? Maybe it's true that guy is lethal. Is it that we took those Shinigami guys too lightly? Taking in the heart of the Soul King until his own trusted minion Gerard dissipated, that Yahaba bastard was pushed to go that far? When he was done with me and Gigi, he was talking some nonsense about being able to see into the future or something, but what kind of future did that guy see with those creepy eyes? Wait a minute. You said Hashwalt ordered you to save us when Yahaba went to sleep, right? That's right. Immediately after His Majesty had fallen asleep. Hashwalt was granted the Mask of the Ruler, allowing him to exercise all powers as a substitute only during the period where Yahaba falls asleep at night. If that's the case, does that mean that Hashwalt bastard saw the future too? In response to Lil's query, which was uttered as if she was half speaking to herself, the Quincy woman cast her eyes down whilst forming her words. When he handed down his instructions to me, he muttered something as if thinking aloud to himself. Seeing into the future is a cruel power, he said. That asshole, what did he see? Did he see a future where both he and Yahaba would die? This is something I am unable to comprehend. The female Quincy, who was Hashwalt's trusted aide, sorrowfully distorted her face. She spoke as her wise voice was enveloped in a slight sadness. Hashwalt Sama did not divulge his true feelings. Neither to us, nor the Sternritter, and in all likelihood, not even His Majesty. However, at the very end, no matter what, preserve the future of the Quincies was the only thing he said to me. So then, being honest to a fault, you went as far as to save us rebels, is that it? For your information, don't expect me or Gigi to feel like we have an obligation to you or something. That's fine. It's not that we are seeking a reward, we are merely obeying Hashwalt Sama's commands. In response to she who had answered matter-of-factly, Lil opens her mouth to speak after lightly clicking her tongue. Well, we survived thanks to you. I am grateful for that. Just don't expect even a word of gratitude from Gigi. When she wakes up, she'll turn you lot into zombies, and she may even use your flesh to treat her own injuries. Don't give me that look. I think I understand enough to know how to take responsibility for this kind of thing. I can handle Gigi. As soon as she becomes able to move, we will take our leave. Leaving Lil, who caught a glimpse of Gigi's condition, the Quincy woman exited the sickbay. That woman, who was Hashwalt's trusted aide, told only one lie to Lil. Before confronting his final battle, there were other words Hashwalt had left behind too. Ishida Uryu is perhaps the last test His Majesty bestowed upon me. I don't understand the reason why, but my emotions are so violently shaken at times, only by that man. If there is ever a time I am driven by passion and forget my role as the balance in that moment, I will relinquish all power His Majesty has entrusted to me, as well as my life. The way in which he had spoken was as if he had seen a future where such a thing would come to be. But assuming this was visible to him, why could he not take action to avoid that future? If it's the case that even after he became aware of the future, he still couldn't suppress his emotions, what kind of words did he make Ishida Uryu hear? Or what sort of conduct did he let him see? Although everything has been nothing but incomprehensible now that things have come to pass, that Quincy who was a trusted aide could only feel proud of her master. Even if his own destiny was in sight, she believed he carried complete resolution on his back and chose his path of his own free will. It was the very next day when Loltato, Giselle and Bambietta had disappeared from the hidden base in the human world. Currently, Loltato's group continue their dispute with the Arrancars in Hueco Mundo. It took several months to regain their powers, but it was restored to all usable levels, with the exception of their Volstandig ability, which was snatched away by Yahaba. If only we had Volstandig, we would be able to absorb all their Riche. The Quincy's ultimate form is Volstandig, if they have the Sclavere ability which is unleashed by the halo that is generated when one enters that state, it becomes possible for a Quincy to completely disintegrate the surrounding Riche and forcibly enslave it. There was also the potential to capture even hollow Riche, whose Riche matter is naturally poisonous for Quincies as a harmless substance with a one-time complete decomposition. However, there are no more Quincies who possess that ability. If there is a possibility, then that would only be Ishida Uryu and his father who were spared from Yahaba's Oswalin, but Lil shrugged her shoulders thinking so what if men who are enemies were able to use it? Then, Gigi's voice could be heard from behind. Hey. But Lil can do something similar, can't she? If you wanted, you could just swallow those guys whole. Or perhaps you're on a diet? There is nothing I can't eat, but poison is poison, my stomach will become awfully upset, so I refuse. Whilst replying in a detached manner, Lil watched intently as Bambietta trampled everything in her path. Gigi then spoke some more. In the end, most of them have fallen, huh? The survivors of the Jagdermi, that is. Every last one of those guys are pitiful. As if marching through this desert for 2 months wasn't annoying enough, none of those guys could become a decent fighting power. They were now mobilizing with the purpose of reclaiming the independent Quincy units for themselves and drawing them in as pawns. Their ultimate goal was to raid the 12th Division in Soul Society and recover Candy and Meanie. Even though Lil tells us to leave her alone, sometimes she places great importance on things like friendship, huh? And then, helping the remnants of the Jagdermi, half of the time it's not for the purpose of collecting pawns, is it that you want to repay those people in that sickbay? Whatever. I'm just pushing the guys who are likely to get in our way onto that bunch. Lil is being sultry, whilst having such a cold expression. I think it's really creepy, but I actually kinda like it. Are you praising me or dissing me? Pick one, bitch. Remaining expressionless, Lil spoke in an unconcerned manner. For some reason, the moment Gigi was called a bitch, she smiled looking a little delighted at the thought. She then replied in a cheerful manner. Oh my, it's a joke, it's a joke. Lil is so cute when she's embarrassed. There's no way I can just ignore it. If Candy and Meanie are both dead, does it mean they can be my zombies? Then Gigi's expression fades away. She recalls the face of a certain man as she spoke with a voice that was full of resentment. Besides, I won't be satisfied unless I give that dazzling weirdo a little surprise, you know? Forget it. That guy completely outranks you. At Lil's chiding, Gigi then spoke. If I use my brains I can manage somehow. Hey, what if I zombify Kurosaki Ichigo? Stop right there. I have no interest in going along with your suicide mission, alright? In all honesty, it's not the case that Lil hasn't considered that idea in her own mind. If they could turn Kurosaki Ichigo into one of their pawns with Gigi's abilities, she has considered the fact that he would become their strongest fighting power. However, as far as Lil could tell, around Kurosaki Ichigo, there were people such as his father who has experience as a captain in the Gate 13, Ishida Uryu who had defeated Hashwolf, and his father Ishida Ryokan who is an Ect Quincy. Moreover, she understood there is also the special war power Orihara Kisake. Lil was neither hasty nor foolish enough to step into such a den of sinister forces. Be that as it may, we will continue to crush Arrancars here like this. The actions of the Quincies, eradicating Arrancars, is a prohibited act that will disturb the balance of the world from the Shinigami's viewpoint. If they overdo it, the Shinigami will likely sense this and send in assassins to eliminate the threat. Considering the fact that they lent a hand to the Shinigami together with Bazb in the end, it's not impossible for them to reach an understanding. However, even if they reconciled, it did not appear likely that the 12th Division captain will release Candy and the others. Above all, formal reconciliation will probably be difficult when Gigi has zombified many Shinigami and then let them kill each other. Well, first of all, after we're finished with these guys, we will return to the human world to plan. Lil suddenly stopped talking in the midst of her muttering. Before her line of sight, there were figures of Arrancars being ravaged by Bambietta's bombing raid. However, Lil had then realized that something felt wrong. It's still not over yet. It's not that Bambietta was dealing with this at a leisurely pace. As much as her reasoning power has weakened, there is still a part of her that maintains her ability to carry out a reckless bombing raid. But the number of Arrancar soldiers has not decreased in the slightest. Rather, it even felt as though their numbers were increasing with time. Reinforcements? No, that's not it. Furthermore, those countless number of skull-masked soldiers that had newly appeared assembling on top of one another, thus creating a wall, could it be that they were putting themselves in harm's way to continue to defend the troops of the center? There was not a shred of hesitation, as if they were accepting of their own death. What's going on? And this is where we stop the video. What will happen to the fight between the Arrancars and the Quincies? Let's find out on the next part of this chapter. Thank you for watching.